Hey tubers, this is the longer form video that I promised you, which is all about the use of a spoiler board on a CNC machine, which is a critically important thing in my view. You will know if you've followed my shorts on this channel that I have just reproduced the spoiler board because the old one is worn out. So first of all, let's just give you a quick overview of what the spoiler board basically is. It's protecting the main part of the CNC machine, the bed or the table, with a sacrificial bit of material. In this case, it's a bit of high density fiberboard, which is through coloured, quite nice. It is much more dimensionally accurate, and it's also stabler than MDF, medium density fiberboard. It needs to be parallel to the axis of the machine, the x-axis and the y-axis of the machine. And how we do that is, you might just be able to see here, there's a little ledge, a lip, and this part is lower than this part. So this has been surfaced with a fly cutter, which is a large nasty looking piece of kit, and it does that quite effectively. And then it has been very lightly sanded. There's virtually no witness marks from the fly cutter, and that's polished up to a P3000, so that is super flat. Then we have choices as CNC operators, I guess, and luthiers. We can hold parts down with vacuum, or we can mechanically hold parts down. I choose to use mechanical hold down, particularly on a smaller machine like this, with relatively low cutter forces. Compared to this machine, it has a series of valves there that you can see, which actually engage various zones of vacuum hold down on this machine. So different sort of strokes for different folks there. But this is what I do on this machine, and I am in the process of implementing a similar spoiler board on the larger machine. So mechanical hold down is where it's at for me on this particular spoiler board, and here's a few more details. So firstly, this is designed to take every single permutation of model that I have designed, and I have in excess of 20 models designed, including the typical sort of Leo Fender influenced designs, the J's and the P's, my versions of those, and also all of my guitars, which include S style, T style, and LP style, if I could put it that way. Once again, just for clarity, none of the instruments that I produce are direct copies of other luthiers' material or other businesses' material. No curve is ever directly copied. I simply take some design cues and some inspiration from the greats, and Leo Fender I consider to be one of the greats. Anyway, back to the script. This is designed to take every single type of neck and body that I produce. It also has fittings in it which allow me to secure things like self-centering clamps and nut vices and the like for manufacturing nuts. All very useful. Also, I'm able to fit a separate vacuum bed to this, which sits on top, and from memory it's located using these two there and these two over there, M6 fittings. So once that's in place, I'm able to put sheet material on it, such as scratch guards, pick guards, sorry, or scratch plates. Mixed me units there, haven't I? But you know what I mean. So flat material can be held down there with a vacuum, separate vacuum pump off to the side of the CNC, and so I can do parts on that basis as well. So just to illustrate, this is a 22 fret neck for, in fact, for Will Davis, fellow Welshman to Sam Williams, of course, but this is for Will Davis. It's 22 frets, so the spoiler board does have a few engravings in it, which are just nice to sort of orientate to as I'm working with the machine, and it sits in the location that you are seeing, with a stub of material that is eventually removed, that is enabling the registration features, which is a dowel at the top and the bottom, to allow me to flip the part. I'm not going to flip it because it's showing you the rear if I do that, and of course those of you who follow the channel will know that my proprietary heel is a bit out of the ordinary, and I've decided to keep it secret, so can't do that, but trust me, it gets flipped to do rear operations, and these dowels form the basis of doing that flip. And for the 24 fret model, this is an example, it is of course longer, and its stub of material that gets removed extends over this part during manufacture, but all the same principles apply. One thing to say is it's important not to flip the parts many times. From a mechanical engineering perspective or operations perspective, whenever you put the item onto the spoiler board, despite the high accuracy that I obtain using bushes in here and engineering dowels which have a suitably tight tolerance, you will never place the item in the same position again. It will have moved slightly. So it's important when thinking about the sequence of operations to limit the number of flips. So there'll be a number of flips as I move this towards its net shape, but once I'm getting close to the finishing processes, I am simply going to want to do two movements of the part. In fact, it'll be on its back, the other way around, to put in all of the rear features. Then it will be flipped, the fretboard will be bonded on, and then the top operations will be done. So there's only two movements, or one flip is the way you can think about that. So that's really important, and it enables me to maintain the really high precision that is a feature of my work. So I think that's probably about it. We're approaching 8 minutes on the first part of the insight into to what spoiler boards are all about. There's a bit more to say, so I'll do that in another session. So if you enjoy it, please obviously subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Makes a big difference. I'm not really I'm not monetized on this channel, don't expect to be frank. This is all about sharing and being totally truthful, showing my wares, the services that I offer, the products that I design and make, and seeking to hook up with people to commission a bass or indeed a guitar. So that's it for today. Thanks very much for listening and watching, and I'll see you in another long form video, provided that this gets a decent bit of reaction. So if it does, that'll be great. Cheers.